Do you feel that money slips through your fingers like water, regardless of how much you work or save? There is an invisible force acting against your prosperity, a spiritual blockage that prevents financial blessings from remaining in your life. This feeling of emptiness in your pocket and anguish in your heart is not by chance. There is a spiritual reason that few know about, but that Father John, with his extraordinary divine sensitivity, revealed to his closest followers. Observe the signs, bills that arrive in a merciless sequence, opportunities that appear only to disappear at the last moment, promotions that go to less qualified people, businesses that start well and mysteriously fall apart. These are manifestations of the same evil, an energetic imbalance that affects thousands of people without them realizing the true origin. Many seek earthly explanations for problems of spiritual origin, consulting economists when they should seek the wisdom of the saints. If you feel that you need urgent financial protection, comment now, "I am protected by divine light." This phrase has power. It is the first step of your spiritual shield against misery. Father John taught that words pronounced with true faith create a force field around the soul that repels negative energies trying to suck away your prosperity. Coarse salt, an element so simple and present in almost all homes, carries with it a millennial spiritual power that Father John recognized and used in his most private blessings. In the Christian tradition, salt is a symbol of purity, preservation, and protection against evil. "You are the salt of the earth," said Jesus, referring to salt's ability to preserve what is good and prevent spiritual deterioration. Father John knew that this white crystalline mineral possesses the unique ability to absorb dense energies and dissolve them, returning them to their primordial state of neutrality. When an American woman, desperate with the imminent bankruptcy of her small family business, sought Father John in confession, he surprised everyone by asking her to bring a handful of coarse salt. "It's not money that's missing in your life," said the saint with that penetrating look that seemed to see beyond the visible. "It's the purity of intention in the place where you keep it." He then revealed that there are 3 specific places in a house where you should never keep money, as these points act as energy drains through which all prosperity flows away. The first forbidden place is under the bed. This space, where we spend a third of our lives in a state of spiritual vulnerability, is considered a thin boundary between the conscious and the unconscious. Keeping money there is mixing the energy of material concern with the sanctuary of the soul, opening doors to spiritual anxieties during sleep and to entities that feed on human anxiety. The second place is drawers or corners near broken or abandoned objects. Damaged objects symbolize interrupted cycles, unfulfilled promises, and stagnant energies that contaminate everything around them. When you place financial resources in this environment, you surround them with an atmosphere of failure and paralysis. The third blocking point is shoes or areas near the entrance door. Shoes carry with them the impurities of the path and negative energies collected during the day. Placing money with them is to impregnate it with these heavy vibrations. The door, in turn, represents the transition between the outside world and your personal sanctuary. Keeping money at this threshold facilitates its spiritual escape from the house. Now, prepare yourself to learn the complete financial purification ritual that Father John revealed only to those who truly needed it. You will need 3 tablespoons of coarse salt. The number 3 represents the Holy Trinity and the complete cycle of beginning, middle, and end. A new white candle, symbol of divine light dispelling darkness. A small, transparent glass container, representing clarity of intentions. Clean water, universal purifying element, and a bill or coin that symbolically represents your entire financial life. Begin the ritual on a Tuesday, a day consecrated to the angels of protection, preferably at dawn, when renewing energies are at their maximum. First, clean the space, where you will perform the ritual, removing broken or dusty objects. This act is not merely physical, but represents the inner disposition to clean your financial life. Father John used to say, external disorder is a reflection of internal disorder. Organize your space so that God can organize your life. Light the white candle, pronouncing 3 times, "With this light, I disperse all shadows that block my prosperity. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit." Visualize the flame as a direct connection with divine light, a beacon that calls to itself celestial blessings. Place the glass container on an elevated surface, never on the floor. Height symbolizes spiritual aspiration and proximity to God. Pour the water into the container, slowly while reciting, "Just as this water flows freely, may financial blessings flow abundantly in my life." Water, in its natural state, always finds its way, circumventing obstacles. This is how your prosperity should be. Then take the first tablespoon of coarse salt, and before adding it to the water, raise it above your head and declare, "With this first salt, I purify my financial past. All debt, all loss, all blockage dissolves now. All evil returns to its origin." Pour the salt into the water, visualizing it absorbing and neutralizing all negative energies from previous financial failures. With the second tablespoon of salt, make a circular movement clockwise over the container, saying, "With this second salt, I consecrate my present. Divine abundance circulates in my life now. Nothing can touch me." As you pour this salt, visualize an energetic shield forming around your current finances, protecting your resources from any malicious external influence. Before using the third tablespoon of salt, hold it close to your heart for 7 complete breaths. The number 7 symbolizes divine perfection and completion of a cycle. Then proclaim with authority, "With this third salt, I bless my financial future. I open the divine channels of prosperity. I'm protected by divine light." As you add this last salt to the water, imagine heavenly doors opening and a golden rain of prosperity descending upon you, your family, and your home. Quick pause. If you're taking notes, write everything down carefully. Don't skip any detail. Each gesture you make activates an ancient spiritual force. Father John warned his followers, "Haste is the enemy of spiritual perfection. Each movement during a sacred ritual has purpose and power." Resume your concentration and continue with redoubled faith. Now take the bill or coin that represents your financial life and hold it between your palms, like someone holding precious water that cannot spill. Close your eyes and pray sincerely. "Lord, bless this material symbol that represents all the sustenance that enters my home. May nothing be lacking, and may everything be used for good, according to your divine will." Then gently dip the money in the salt water, just enough for it to be touched by the sacred solution, but not to the point of damaging it. This contact symbolizes the energetic purification of your entire financial life. Remove the money and let it dry naturally while the candle continues to burn. During this time, make a thorough inspection of your house. Collect any money kept in the 3 forbidden places revealed by Father John: under the bed, near broken objects, and in shoes, or near the entrance door. This is a crucial moment of the ritual, as you are literally rescuing your prosperity from energetically contaminated areas. For each amount rescued, no matter how small, touch it briefly to the candle flame, without burning it, and say, "I free this money from the spiritual bonds that prevented it from multiplying." Father John taught that money, just like people, can become spiritually sick when exposed to heavy energies and needs to be healed before it can work properly in your favor. Once all the money found in inappropriate places has been purified, you must choose a new place to keep it, strictly following Father John's guidelines. The ideal place should be clean, organized, elevated, never on the floor, and, if possible, close to a symbol of faith, such as a cross, an image of the Virgin. Mary, or a blessed medal. Some followers of Father John maintain a small wooden box specially consecrated for this purpose, lined with white fabric and containing a bay leaf, symbol of victory, or an olive leaf, symbol of peace and prosperity. As you store the purified money in its new sacred place, declare with conviction, this is now a sanctuary of divine prosperity. Every resource kept here is under the protection of heaven and will multiply according to God's will. Father John affirmed that by establishing a spiritually suitable place for your resources, you create a magnet of abundance that not only preserves what you already have, but attracts more prosperity. Return to the ritual site, where the candle should still be burning and the container with water and salt remains. It's time to complete the cycle. Dip your fingertips in the sacred solution and, with this liquid, make the sign of the cross on your forehead, saying, "May my thoughts about money be illuminated by divine wisdom." Then, touch your heart. May my feelings about prosperity be purified by divine love. Touch your left shoulder. May all financial difficulties of the past be transmuted. And finally, your right shoulder. May my financial future be blessed by infinite grace. Allow the candle to burn completely, which may take several hours. During this time, it is ideal to maintain a state of gratitude and positive expectation. You can continue your normal activities, but avoid arguments, negative news, or any energy that might interfere with the force field being established. When the candle goes out naturally, the physical ritual will be completed, but its effects will continue to reverberate on the spiritual plane. The water with salt should be discarded in a garden or plant, returning the already transmuted energies to the earth, or in running water such as a river or the sea, never in the toilet. When discarding, give thanks. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for receiving and transforming these energies. May they return to the cycle of life as blessings. The spiritual effects of this ritual begin to manifest in subtle but perceptible ways. Many report an immediate feeling of lightness, as if an invisible weight had been removed from their shoulders. In the following days, it is common to experience renewed mental clarity regarding financial decisions, as if a veil had been lifted, allowing you to see previously obscured opportunities. Dreams become more vivid and frequently bring symbolic messages related to prosperity. Pay special attention to dreams with clean water, golden light, or spiritual figures offering objects. On the material plane, the effects tend to manifest in cycles of 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months, depending on the depth of the blockage being treated. Unexpected opportunities begin to arise. People who can help in your financial journey cross your path, and resources that seemed stagnant begin to circulate again. A notable synchronicity that many experience is the return of the lost money that seemed lost. Old unpaid loans, or even valuable objects that had mysteriously disappeared, find their way back. Mary, a 58-year-old American widow from Ohio, witnessed the power of this ritual after performing it in complete desperation. With a small, insufficient pension for her basic needs and accumulating debts, she rigorously followed each step with the simple faith that Father John so valued. "I had nothing to lose," she says with tears in her eyes. In the 3rd week after the ritual, I received a letter informing me that an old investment that my late husband had made, and which I was completely unaware of, had matured and was available for redemption. The amount was exactly what I needed to pay off all my debts, and there was still some left for me to start a small sewing business, which today supports me and helps my 2 daughters. Anthony, a merchant from rural Tennessee, saw his small market on the verge of bankruptcy after 3 years of decreasing sales, despite all his efforts. After performing the ritual, he discovered during the inspection of his house that he kept the daily cash register money in a drawer that also contained a broken gold chain. a gift from his deceased mother that he never had the courage to fix. When I understood the symbolism of that, I felt a shiver run down my spine, he reports. The broken chain perfectly represented how my connection to prosperity had been interrupted. He fixed the chain, purified the money according to Father John's instructions, and established a new sacred place for the business finances. In 3 months, not only were the debts with suppliers regularized, but I was able to renew the stock and expand to a natural products section that I had always dreamed of having. Even more impressive is the case of Lisa, a university professor who suffered from recurring nightmares about drowning and a constant feeling of financial suffocation. It was as if something was sucking my vital energy along with my money, she describes. During the ritual, while inspecting her house, she discovered that her husband had a habit of keeping money inside shoes in the closet, a practice he considered smart to avoid theft. By following the complete protocol of purification and reallocation of resources, not only did her financial situation gradually improve, but the nightmares ceased completely. On the 3rd night after the ritual, I dreamed of Father John. He didn't say anything, just smiled and pointed to an illuminated path. I woke up with a deep certainty that I was protected. These testimonies confirm what Father John always taught. Spirituality is not separate from material life. Both are different expressions of the same divine energy. When we harmonize our spiritual relationship with material resources, we remove the blockages that prevent the natural flow of prosperity that God desires for all his children. Perform this ritual today. Don't wait. The energy around you is already moving. The protection you seek is in your hands now. Father John used to say to his most intimate faithful, "Procrastination is the enemy's favorite tool." He knows that postponing a spiritual practice is almost as effective as preventing it completely. Each day that passes without you purifying your financial life is another day lost in the energy of scarcity. Remember, this is not just a ritual, but a reconciliation with the spiritual laws of prosperity. When you respect these laws, they work in your favor. When you violate them, even through ignorance, you suffer their consequences. Father John, in his infinite compassion, revealed these secrets not to create superstition, but to restore the divine order that has been disturbed by modern man's disconnection from the sacred that permeates all dimensions of existence, including the material. By completing this ritual, you will not only be purifying your money, but profoundly transforming your relationship with abundance. You will see that true prosperity is not just accumulation, but flow, receiving to be able to give, saving to be able to share, multiplying to be able to serve. This is the divine economy that Father John lived and taught. God is not a stingy banker counting coins, but an infinite ocean of abundance waiting for us to open the channels to receive. Your ancestors knew these principles. In simpler but spiritually more connected times, our grandmothers and great-grandmothers naturally intuited the appropriate places to keep resources, the propitious moments for important financial decisions, and the protection rituals for family sustenance. Ancestral wisdom was gradually forgotten, replaced by blind materialism that treats money only as printed paper, devoid of its energetic and spiritual dimension. Father John, with his extraordinary ability to see beyond the veil that separates the visible from the invisible, came to rescue this sacred knowledge. He could clearly see the energetic currents of prosperity flowing or being blocked in the houses and lives of those who sought him. He saw how objects, places, and even thoughts could act as amplifiers or inhibitors of this divine flow. His guidelines, always grounded in the deepest Christian tradition, do not contradict faith, but complement it, revealing the spiritual mechanics behind religious principles. When you keep money under the bed, you are literally dreaming of financial problems. The unconscious, freed during sleep, absorbs and amplifies the vibration of concern impregnated in those bills or coins. Father John could see, with his spiritual eyes, a grey mist forming around the person during sleep, a mist that accompanied them during the day, driving away positive opportunities. Similarly, broken objects emit a frequency of incompleteness and dysfunction that contaminates everything around them, including money. And shoes, which step daily on all kinds of energy, are true magnets of heavy vibrations that transfer to anything kept in them or close to them. The ritual you have just learned is not a mere set of superstitious gestures, but a refined spiritual technology developed by someone who could see beyond the surface of reality. Each element, the salt, the water, the candle, the movements, the words, was carefully selected for its specific effect on the energy field that surrounds your financial life. It is spiritual science in its purest expression. By performing it with sincere faith and clear intention, you are not just following a tradition, but consciously aligning yourself with the cosmic laws that govern material manifestation. You are declaring to the universe that you understand the sacred nature of abundance and commit to being a responsible administrator of the resources that the Creator wishes to channel through you. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if the constant worry about money were replaced by a serene confidence in divine provision. If, instead of the tightness in your chest when opening a bill, you felt gratitude for the opportunity to participate in the cycle of exchange that sustains everyone. If your work were motivated not by fear of scarcity, but by the desire to contribute with your unique gifts. This is the true financial liberation that Father John desired for his spiritual children. Not necessarily ostentatious wealth, but the deep peace that comes from a healthy and spiritualized relationship with material resources. This peace is within your reach now. The financial purification ritual is your first step on the path to reconnecting with the divine current of prosperity that has always been available, just waiting for you to remove the blockages that prevented its natural flow. Just as a river obstructed by debris recovers its strength when obstacles are removed, your financial life will recover its vitality when purified of the dense energies that congested it. Father John's closest followers report that he could literally see these blockages as dark cords tied around the waist of people with financial difficulties. During spiritual care, he often made a gesture in the air, as if cutting something invisible, and the person immediately felt a sensation of lightness and release. The ritual that you now know spiritually recreates this gesture of cutting and liberation, allowing the energetic cords that bound you to scarcity to be finally broken. The prosperity that awaits on the other side of this liberation is not just material. It is a holistic prosperity that manifests in all dimensions: invigorated health, more harmonious relationships, expanded creativity, mental peace, and, yes, also sufficient financial resources for a dignified and generous life. Father John always emphasized the interconnection of all these areas. When you clean one corner of the spiritual house, the entire structure benefits. Allow yourself, therefore, to fully receive the blessings that this financial purification ritual will bring to your life. Be attentive to signs, even the most subtle, of change and improvement. An inspired idea that emerges during a quiet moment, a seemingly casual encounter that opens new possibilities, a vivid dream that points to unexplored directions. All can be manifestations of the new energetic flow that now circulates freely in your life. And remember the words that Father John frequently repeated to those who sought his guidance in times of material difficulty. Faith is not believing that God can, it is believing that God will. This unshakable certainty in divine care is, in itself, a force that moves mountains of impossibilities. When you perform this ritual with this same certainty, you become a conscious co-creator of your financial reality, in partnership with the celestial forces that have always been available, just awaiting your call. Now is the time to act. Gather the necessary elements for the ritual: coarse salt, the white candle, the glass container, pure water, and a bill or coin symbolizing your financial life. Choose next Tuesday, preferably at dawn, to begin this journey of transformation. And while waiting for the ideal day, start now to prepare your heart and mind, releasing resentment for past financial losses, forgiving those who may have contributed to material difficulties, and, above all, forgiving yourself for choices that, seen in retrospect, may not have been the wisest. This forgiveness is an essential part of spiritual preparation, because, as Father John taught, to forgive is to release a prisoner and discover that the prisoner was yourself. When you free yourself from the emotional bonds related to negative, financial experiences of the past, you create the energetic space necessary for new and more positive experiences to manifest. On the morning of the ritual, wake up before the sun, when the veil between the visible and invisible worlds is thinner. Take a purifying bath, ideally adding 7 drops of lavender essential oil to the water. Lavender is known for its energetic, cleansing properties, or some fresh rue leaves, a powerful spiritual protector in the tradition that Father John deeply respected. Dress in light, comfortable clothes, preferably natural cotton, avoiding synthetics that may interfere with the subtle energetic flow. Before starting the ritual itself, dedicate a few minutes to sincere prayer, connecting with your particular spiritual source, whether it is identified as God, Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary, or the saints of your devotion. Father John frequently reminded, prayer is the best weapon we have, the key that opens God's heart. This prior connection tremendously amplifies the potency of the ritual that will follow. As you perform each step, maintain full awareness of the spiritual meaning behind each physical gesture. The power of this ritual does not reside merely in external actions, but in the conscious intention that animates them. Father John could clearly discern between those who performed spiritual practices mechanically and those who imbued them with true consciousness and devotion. Invariably, only the latter experienced transformative results. After completing the ritual, take a moment to give thanks. Gratitude, Father John taught, is the antechamber of manifestation. Thanking for blessings even before seeing them materialize is a supreme act of faith that accelerates their realization. Thank as if you had already received the financial release you seek. Feel the emotion of this liberation running through each cell of your body. Visualize yourself living in the new reality of balanced abundance and clear purpose. In the following days, keep a simple diary of synchronicities, noting any event, no matter how small, that seems to indicate a change in the energetic pattern of your financial life. An unexpected discount, a small gift, a forgotten debt that is paid, an opportunity that arises, all are signs that the gates of prosperity have begun to open. Recording them not only helps track your evolution, but also strengthens your confidence in the ongoing spiritual process. And always remember the deepest advice that Father John offered about true prosperity. Be rich in good works, generous in giving, ready to share. Genuine abundance never accumulates like stagnant water, but flows like a life-giving river, receiving to be able to give. When blessings begin to manifest in your life as a result of this financial purification ritual, immediately seek ways to share them, even if they initially seem small. This sharing is not just a moral act, but a spiritual law that keeps the cycle of abundance in perpetual growing movement. One last detail that Father John revealed only to his most intimate consultants: the financial purification ritual can and should be repeated at important astrological transition moments, such as solstices, equinoxes, and on your personal birthday, or even when you feel that external negative influences may have contaminated your financial field again. Each repetition not only renews protection, but deepens your conscious connection with the spiritual laws of prosperity, making you increasingly a deliberate master of your material reality instead of a victim of seemingly random circumstances. Perform this ritual today. Don't wait. The energy around you is already moving. The protection you seek is in your hands now. Free yourself from the invisible chains that have kept your prosperity imprisoned. Open the channels so that divine abundance, which never ceased to exist, can finally flow without obstructions in your life. This is the promise of Father John's financial purification ritual. Not just renewed material resources, but a deep reconciliation with the divine order that governs all dimensions of existence. Prosperity is your spiritual birthright. Claim it now with faith, determination, and the millennial wisdom that this sacred ritual encapsulates. Your abundant future awaits only your first conscious step in its direction. Take this step today and see how the universe conspires to support those who align with its deepest laws.